Tonight on NAIT NewsWatch.
How the approval of the Keystone pipeline could benefit NAIT students.
What that means, it allows for expansion of oil sands production, which translates to jobs.
Parents discuss their concerns over marijuana legalization.
Parents get frustrated, I think, because they don't feel like their voice has been heard.
And how you can help support charities in the city this holiday season.
You make sure that your next door neighbor, the person who's sitting next to you in school, will get help this year if they need it.
NewsWatch starts now.
Good evening. With the cold and snow setting in, it's clear that the holiday season is right around the corner.
Yeah, and in this season of giving, the demand for charitable donations may be on the rise. Our Alyssa Short joins us live from the South Lobby with more on that story.
Thanks, Michael and Joe. Charities are reminding Edmontonians to do their part as the holidays approach because it's never too early to give.
Volunteers are in full swing at Santa's Anonymous, putting together gifts for 25,000 Edmonton kids and building Christmas spirit.
When kids come back from school after the holidays, everyone says, "What did you get for Christmas? What did you get for Christmas?" And for those kids to be able to say, "Here's this brand new thing that I got," that's why, that's self-esteem for the kids.
Santa's Anonymous opened their lines 2 weeks earlier this year for families to reach out, and they, along with the Christmas Bureau of Edmonton, who expects to service over 23,000 households, are already looking to make sure everyone gets what they need to have a jolly holiday.
You never know who it is. It's probably somebody you don't suspect, and it's probably somebody who isn't willing to let you know that they need help. But that's by giving to the Christmas Bureau of Edmonton. You make sure that your next door neighbor, the person who's sitting next to you in school, will get help this year if they need it.
While charitable campaigns are running now for the holiday season, the demand for their services is increasing all year round, and that's what organizations like Edmonton's Food Bank are really preparing for.
There's hunger in March, in May. We just find that between in November and December, people are gathering with their friends, their family to have a meal, and they really think about providing food for others in need to have that meal.
Over the last year, an average of 2,000 more people per month reached out to the food bank for assistance. For their holiday campaign, they're raising their overall donation goal by 300,000 kilograms of food.
No, I think he was at 7 o'clock.
On top of their regular studies, these NAIT students are aiming to assist in reaching this goal by hosting a charity event this Sunday at Prairie Noodle Shop. At $20 a meal, the entire proceeds of the event are going to Edmonton's Food Bank.
We're helping mostly on the monetary front, and we're also asking people to bring a non-perishable food donation to the event if possible, because money is the best.
There are a number of other events coming up to support these charities, like ETS Stuff-A-Bus or the Oil Kings Teddy Bear Toss, just to name a few. Both of those events are happening this year on December 2nd.
Alyssa, what are some of these charities and what are they in most need of?
So Edmonton's Food Bank is looking for things like canned soup, peanut butter, and baby food, while Santa's Anonymous are reminding people to donate gifts for infants under the age of 2, and also gifts that can be used for a long time, so things that don't require batteries or a console to enjoy.
What are other ways people can give?
So aside from physical and monetary donations, another way to get involved is to donate your time helping out. Or the Christmas Bureau also suggests hosting a festive fundraiser to help create some holiday spirit while also helping out a family in need.
Thanks, Alyssa. That's our Alyssa Short reporting live from the South Lobby.
You're watching NAIT NewsWatch, the next generation of news.
With legalization of marijuana just around the corner, parents would like to be assured that accessibility does not mean more challenges for the youth and young adults struggling with substance abuse.
Parents are wanting to be informed about the risks associated with market-ready cannabis products. Our reporter Laura Kraus joins us with more on that story. Laura.
Thanks, Michael and Joe. Whether a child is a youth or young adult whose brain is still developing, or older, Parents Empowering Parents, also known as PEP, believes every person who struggles with substance abuse benefits from having informed, empowering, and educated parents. At PEP Talks Pot, everybody can benefit by learning how to understand and discuss cannabis. As the legalization of marijuana draws closer, parents had the opportunity to sit down at an open mic meeting with doctors and educators to be informed, ask questions, and understand the risks of market-ready cannabis.
Parents get frustrated, I think, because they don't feel like their voice has been heard. So they're concerned that we have parents who have children of 12 years old and up that have an attitude about, it's just pot, right? We talk about the just pot thing, right?
Parents Empowering Parents not only educates people, but they also help support recovering addicts to maintain sobriety. Tiffany Foley sold and was addicted to drugs for 6 years and is now sharing her experience at Pep Talks.
I got to watch the pain that my mom went through. I have 2 daughters as well, a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old. My addiction strongly impacted them, right? And I have a 13-year-old who's now kind of struggling and experimenting with alcohol and smoking cigarettes and smoking weed. So I'm kind of in their spot now.
Tiffany believes sharing her experience at PEP has not only benefited participants at the meeting, but herself as well. Drug addictions are lifelong issues that may never be fully resolved. But with gatherings like Pep Talks, the goal is to raise awareness for those who struggle with substance abuse and to show support for individuals and families dealing with this issue. PEP commits to improving effective treatments and positive outcomes for substance abuse. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Laura.
That's our Laura Kraus reporting from the legislator.
The Keystone expansion has been approved this week, and other than a few adjustments south of the border, it's exactly what some Albertans have been waiting for. The Keystone XL project has been in the work for years, and the vote came back 3-2 last Monday. Bruce Reindeer, the head of the Petroleum Engineering Program at NAIT, said he's excited to see developments in the industry.
The approval of the Keystone XL is it adds extra capacity for Western Canada to transport our crude oil to market. And what that means, it allows for expansion of oil sands production, which translates to jobs, which translates to employment opportunities for students graduating from the Petroleum Engineering Technology program.
Stats Canada says the growth in Alberta's GDP this year is due to oil field development. They speculate Keystone expansions will likely continue this growth through 2018.
The Alberta government made an announcement Wednesday about dental fees in Alberta.
The college is developing an abbreviated fee guide that will be easier for all of us to use. This is a great day for dental consumers, patients, and for all Albertans. This important information will help Albertans make informed decisions. Thank you very much.
Health Minister Honourable Sarah Hoffman, in conjunction with the Alberta Dental Association and College, announced a new fee guide for dental procedures. Hoffman says the province has been an outlier in terms of fees and costs.
We're working with dentists like they do in all other jurisdictions to make sure that consumers have a tool. And we believe, looking at what happens in other provinces, the vast majority of dentists are in line with the fee guide.
The fee guide will see an 8.5% decrease than that of 2016. Dentists will still set their own fees, but the guide will serve as a tool for both dentists and patients. This is the first dental fee guide in Alberta in 20 years.
Edmonton is expected to benefit from a housing announcement made by the federal government this week. A luncheon hosted by the Homeward Trust coincided with the federal government's announcement of Canada's first ever national housing strategy. City officials declared November 22nd as Housing Day in Edmonton.
The need for more affordable housing is so huge, and we've been waiting, quite frankly, for a long time for the shoe to drop, for some announcement to clarify that there is what is the scale of the commitment and the length of the commitment.
The event also featured a keynote speaker, Mike Downey, the brother of Tragically Hip's frontman Gord Downey. Mike spoke about he and his late brother's project, Secret Path, and reminded Edmontonians about the housing crisis specifically facing Indigenous people. Over 48% of homeless Edmontonians identify as Indigenous.
A number of bars and clubs in Edmonton, including NAIT's campus bar, The Nest, were recognized for their commitment to safety and responsible service. 75 bars, clubs, pubs, and restaurants around the city received Best Bar None accreditation for their commitment to the higher service and safety standards. In order to obtain accreditation, the venues need to follow a set of practices, including security and patron management and responsible liquor services. Various venue owners expressed why it's important to be part of this program.
Actually, AGLC contacted us. So it was David Young, and he came to the nest and just sort of laid out what Best Bar None was and how important it was to society and to NAIT and to Edmonton. And yeah, we bought right in.
The part of the allure that attracted me was that it was going to be not something that was mandatory, but something we could opt in and really showcase stuff that we do to make the bar safe. And it was a way for us to gain some media attention in a positive light.
NAIT's campus bar, The Nest, took home Best Campus Bar in the city for the 3rd year in a row.
Dozens of men came out and showed their support for the 12th annual Breakfast with the Guys.
Step up, speak up, and reach out. Thank you.
The event is meant to enlighten people about the hardships many women face when involved in an abusive relationship and encourage others to take a stand against domestic violence. Individuals from all walks of life shared their emotional life stories and talked about how this event impacted their lives and what people should take away from it.
Conversation is changing in terms of it needs to be a global conversation between men and women. And as several of the speakers said, children need to understand what it's about. And I guess understanding how to speak to people and how to interact with people in a respectful way.
This was the 7th Breakfast with the Guys event, with one more next Thursday in Red Deer. More information about the ACWS is available on their website.
Local artists are putting a colorful touch on the city's LRT stations. Paint the Rails is a project started by various Edmonton artists in partnership with the John Humphrey Centre for Peace and Human Rights and the ETS. The mural at Churchill in particular is meant to pay vigil to the missing and murdered Indigenous women around Canada, titled Returning Home. One of the artists, Carla Ray Taylor, talks about the inspiration and message behind the piece.
ETS has a campaign called Respect All, and so I decided to combine the two ideas. The Respect All campaign is about bringing all people home safely. So as they're traveling home from work or wherever on the trains, they want to make sure that people are coming home safely.
In total, each piece takes around 10 days to complete. Within the next year, the artists will paint more murals at 5 different LRT locations around the city.
Coming up after the break, life after post-secondary education.
An event featured NAIT alumni who helped outline new opportunities and careers for students.
The program is to empower students who are new to Canada and new to Canadian networking settings.
This week in sports, we catch up with the NAIT men's hockey team and as well as the women's volleyball team, and I learned how to deliver a knockout punch.
Now I know we had a cold start to the week and we even saw some freezing rain. However, things are looking to shape up for the weekend. All that and more coming up in weather.
Take your imagination on a trip with NR92 Movies You'll Never See, an audio drama that takes you swinging through the jungles of Africa or strolling down the streets of Paris.
Movies You'll Never See on NR92.com, the station for the students.
Well, the weather this week has been pretty crazy, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it went from cold to snowy to freezing rain. And I heard in Calgary, one side of the city, it was -8 at one point, and then the other side was +8.
Insane.
Craig, explain what's going on.
That's right. The start of the week was kind of all over the place. However, things are looking to warm up this weekend. First off, in Calgary, we have a high of 7 on Saturday and a low of 0. It will be clear skies, 0% chance of precipitation. So if you're looking to go outside, this will be the perfect time to do so. Now in Jasper, similar temperatures to Calgary. However, we are looking at 70% chance of precipitation. We have a high of 6 and a low of 0. It will be raining in town, and as you move into the mountains, you will be seeing some snow, and especially at night as well. Now in Fort McMurray, it's a little bit colder than the rest of the province. We have a high of -10 and a low of -15. There will be some snow as well, and there is a warning for heavy snow. So if you're looking to drive up north, you're going to want to pay attention to the road conditions. Now in Edmonton, we have a high of 0 and a low of -6. It will be partly cloudy with a low % chance of precipitation. However, it should be decent enough for you to get outside and enjoy some winter events.
Now for the averages this time of year, we have an average high of -2 and an average low of -11. So it's nice to see that we're kind of fitting in right around those averages. And we did have a cold start to this winter. The record highs have been 12 degrees in 1890 and a record low of -38 in 1883. That's all I have for weather. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.
NewsWatch Weather is brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
What is life like after NAIT? Well, students approaching graduation were given an inside look this week.
Alumni as well as professionals from the industry shared their tips at Life After NAIT, hosted by the International Center. Our Chelsea Hudima reports.
We are the best program school in the country.
International students were given the opportunity to connect with alumni of NAIT about what life is like after graduating in Canada. With an increase in the number of international students at NAIT, hearing from alumni can be an empowering experience for students.
The program is to empower students who are new to Canada and new to Canadian networking settings to learn and have a safe environment, start practicing the first elevator pitch kind of thing. Yeah.
Students were also able to connect with industry professionals and hear their tips and feedback. Accounting student Bevel Fernandez also spends his time being a peer mentor for students. He believes that connection and engagement are key for students looking for a job.
Working is one of the priorities for many students here in Canada. And hence NAIT International through this event to help students get an experience of meeting new people and just getting out there.
Finding a job after graduation can be stressful, even more so for international students. Events like this help guide new graduates in the right direction with the help of industry professionals and alumni.
Thanks, Chelsea.
That was our Chelsea Hudima reporting from the International Center.
Did you watch the Eskimos game?
I caught the first half, but it was an unfortunate end. But Jamie, what happened?
It was a devastating loss for the Edmonton Eskimos this weekend. They started off strong, finishing the first quarter with a strong lead, but unfortunately let it slip away. In the end, Coach Jason Moss had to make a tough call that made many Edmontonians have been questioning. General Manager Brock Sunderland stands behind Moss's decision.
I understand where he was coming from, and again, I support him.
After the game, many Edmonton Eskimos fans took to social media to express their concerns about the controversial call.
One of the things I love about Edmonton and this fan base is the passion, so we understand we're upset. We wish it would have worked out. So as far as the outside and how we handle things inside. Jason and I are on the same page, the organization's on the same page, and that's how we handle it.
With Edmonton hosting the 2018 Grey Cup, sights are already set on a big win.
Every time you lose a game, every time you win a game.
This week in hockey, the NAIT Ooks faced off against the SAIT Trojans. It was a slow start to the game, with the first goal being scored late in the first by NAIT defenseman Ty Stanton. Heading into the second period, the Ooks held onto their lead with a goal by Matt McNeil. But the Trojans fired back near the end of the second with a goal by right winger Colton McCarthy. With the score 2-1 for the Ooks heading into the third period, tensions were high, but NAIT kept the lead. Eric Donald scoring halfway through the third period and Devin McAndrews finishing the game with one last goal. The game ended with a victory for NAIT. With this win, NAIT will remain at number 1 in the ACAC standings, while the SAIT Trojans will fall to 5th place. The NAIT Ooks will be playing against Red Deer College tonight at the NAIT Arena. Puck drop is at 7 o'clock. The NAIT women's volleyball team took on the Augustana Vikings. The Ooks had some great hits against Augustana, finishing the first set with 25 points and Augustana with 20. Heading into the next few sets, it was a battle, with the Ooks losing the second set, but getting their momentum back and winning sets 3 and 5. Carly Kupka recorded a game high of 17 points, and the Ooks won the game 3-2. The Ooks now have a couple weeks off until they play Augustana again on December 1st. For this week's End Zone Challenge, I decided to find out what it really means to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee.
Although I was born ready to step into the ring, I had to start with a little warm-up. I knew I had the eye of the tiger right when we started, until I screwed up instantly. Yet I kept soldiering on. I knew that every minute, every second of training would all be worth it in the ring.
Oh my God.
That's a wrap for the warm-up, and now it's time to train, which means fast feet and watch those fists, because Queen Bee is coming for you.
Am I just supposed to go in the air?
Straighten your arms, Jamie. All the way up.
Oh.
Finally, the time had come. It was time for me to show off all of my skills and make the Floyd Money Mayweather team proud.
Okay, so how nervous should I be about this sparring now?
I think we're just doing games to warm up for right now, so it's not too bad.
I do have to be on camera later this week, so I mean, this face is all I have going for me.
No, I think your face will be fine.
Can we do like a fake thing? Like, is this what you guys do before?
Really.
Oh, okay.
We just kind of tap those.
Whoa! Oh! Wow! Oh! Oh! With all that training, I don't think I'm quite ready to be on the Floyd Money Mayweather team, but these kids are definitely well on their way. That's it for End Zone Challenge. Thank you, and see you next week.
Wow, Jamie, looks like you really got a workout in there.
Well, you know what they say, sweat is just fat crying.
Well, it seems that there was enough tears.
There really was a lot, Joe.
Well, coming up after the break, Michael and I bring Christmas all the way to the kids in Africa.
We filled shoe boxes with much needed school supplies for Operation Christmas Child.
Life, there are many children that can't go to school because they don't have school supplies.
This week in entertainment, we have some live theater, a magical light show just outside of Edmonton, and even some outdoor skating. All that is coming up next.
When it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year, NR92 will be there for you.
We're here for it all.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Join your friends on NR92, the station for the students.
NewsWatch music provided by Martin Mayer Productions.
Clothing provided by Buller Trucking.
This week in our community, we worked with Samaritan's Purse on Operation Christmas Child,
an international effort to get gifts to children around the world.
The boxes are filled with gifts from people like us and sent to distribution centers around Canada. They're then sent by plane to 11 countries in need.
Well, we want to create a well-rounded shoebox that a child could use for different situations in life. There are many children that can't go to school because they don't have school supplies. School supplies are probably the most important. Hygiene items, toothbrush, soap, washcloths, hairbrush, and toys. They're still kids. They still want to have fun.
They're still taking in boxes until December 8th, and you can contact Samaritan's Purse for the best way to get your gifts into the hands of children.
Mike, it's starting to feel like Christmas. They're playing Bublé on the radio, and I'm just ready to go.
Well, it's the closest to my birthday, so, might we do something fun. What non-Christmas Christmas events are going on in town this weekend, Jesse?
Well, before I went on a sleigh ride of sorts this week, I moseyed on over to the Varscona Theatre to catch a Bright Young Things adaptation of Graham Greene's Cold War comedy, Our Man in Havana.
Old man, I think you'll find it's Las Manos.
That copy is for you.
But I read it years ago.
Set in Cuba in 1958, the play tells the story of Jim Wormold, an unlucky vacuum cleaner salesman. When the chance of helping out MI6 with a job or two becomes too good an offer to refuse, Jim finds himself sucked into a world of espionage and double agents.
To keep the money coming in of being a spy, he starts making up lies to make the money. And then, of course, that just snowballs into madcap thriller, riotous, crazy, hilarious show.
Our Man in Havana opened on Thursday and runs till December 2nd. Tickets are available at varsconatheatre.com. A new holiday event at Castrol Raceway has gained a lot of traction so far this season, and it's only November. The racetrack has partnered with Magic of Lights to provide a sparkling 2-kilometer drive-through experience. Christmas carols provided by 92.5 Fresh Radio accompany the dazzling light show as you drive your vehicle through the course. The event took 3 weeks to set up and is the only one of its kind in Western Canada. Passes for cars, buses, and even limousines are available, and proceeds from the event are sure to go to a good cause.
And a very near and dear project to them is Santa's Anonymous. It's tens of thousands of dollars that they give to Santa's Anonymous. And then a new one to us is the local Leduc Food Bank.
Visitors can see the light show from the comfort of their own car or buy tickets for the horsepower hayride. Magic of Lights opened on November 17th and closes on January 6th. The event runs from 5 to 10 p.m. every day with passes available on Castrol Raceway's website. And for anyone looking for a nice holiday skate outdoors, there are plenty of options and some wonderful views opening soon around our city. The ice is in at City Hall, and while the rink is not quite ready yet, it and several others will soon open to the public. The pond and shinny ice surfaces in Horlock Park will open in late December in conjunction with the ice castles. Victoria Park is set to open the Victoria Park Oval as well as part of the Iceway Skating Trail in mid-December, and the Rundle Iceway is also set to open in the middle of the month. For more information on outdoor skating in the Edmonton area, you can visit the City of Edmonton's website, as well as exploreedmonton.com. That's all I have for entertainment this week. Thanks for watching.
So, Mike, are you a Frank Sinatra fan or a Bing Crosby fan?
Gotta go with the Frank. You know, like I like him and Van Morrison, both kind of lounge singer, you know, just calm and something you can vibe to. Yeah, exactly,
Right.
just comfortable.
Also a Christmas special that everyone should check out. But that's all we have for NAIT NewsWatch.
So long.